What's going on, traders? Yeah, just going to get on here and share the trading day with you. Got everything kind of going here. We're going to start the trading day looking at these balances. These are both eval accounts from Apex. Got both of them into profit. This is only by like $94, one by 148. But that's kind of how we're starting the stream. We'll see how we profit or lose today. Not really even caring that much whether or not I'm getting profit or loss. I'm just trying to play the game well. Alright, so what are we doing here? So let's get into it. Looking like a nice setup for a sell. I'm gonna just get in on this real quick. I've been kind of watching this most of the morning. So you had this big inducement down, and then you know, break a structure here. Reach back up to these highs. So we'll see what this does. I'm gonna do probably a fairly decent stop loss. I got one contract on a 100K account, which is a little heavy, but you know, these Apex accounts are only like $40 for a eval. I got a discount code in the description, and so I'm not sweating the $40 all that much. Top Step, I guess, is running a special at the moment. I haven't checked it out. Normally they're for a 100K account, about $100. But from what I heard on the grapevine, is they're offering some sort of a discount at the moment. I think Top Step and Apex are both you know, fine prop firm futures trading companies. They're the only ones I fuck with at the moment. I'm trying to do the math in my head real fast. 20 is... Yeah, do 5 times 50, it'd be 250, and that'd be a $250 risk, which is a 0.25% risk. Trying to you know, not overtrade as much. Trading frequently is part of my style on some level because of kind of the way the math works on a 1 to 3. There's kind of a benefit to more volume of trading. Obviously not if you're spiraling and over leveraging. I mean, it just kind of depends on what you're doing. You know, I've been posting these streams and everything on Reddit and Facebook, you know, just some day trading groups, and you know, everybody's got opinions about the market and how to trade. Considering most people fail at trading, you know, it's like the general agreed upon rules. You know, it's like, are those the ones you should be breaking? You know, it's like, oh, you should trade less often and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, so does that mean in inversion land that we should be trading frequently? And you know, hopefully be able to capture a lot of this move. Kind of the strategy is shorting the tops of the hills. You know, when everybody's kind of getting induced into getting into a buy position because it's like, oh, it's going up, get in on it. My strategy is to do the opposite. Could be a bonehead move. I mean, you know, still a learning process for me. By no means a market wizard. I might even go even more of a risk and just get above that threat of getting stopped out. Let's do the math. So, yeah, this is about a 1% risk. Considering the time, it's 10:30. I had an appointment earlier today, so missed the first kind of start to the trading day. But, you know, I was able to pre-market get in a lot of profit on this downtrend. That's why I feel like kind of just going in a little bit heavy, bigger risk, and then just bigger stop loss. Just because I feel like this is a pretty good setup for a sell, especially when you consider some of the other factors like what's been going on over time. I'm gonna do the daily here for the past 6 months, and so we had breached these highs, and then kind of that same pattern that that I like to follow is the inducement down and then catching for a continuation to the downside. I just don't feel like you know, and I could be completely wrong, you know, just the way it consolidated up at these new highs followed by this kind of downward energy. I feel like the momentum has kind of shifted to the downside, but you know, today, who knows, you know, it's the market here, anything can happen. Get back on the 15-minute. You know, it could be a complete turnaround, scream to record highs. It could be that. Let me check, make sure everything is looking good and sounding good. Looks like the levels look good. You guys can see that. Nice. Okay. Yeah, part of why I do the strategy I'm doing is just because I've been tricked so many times by these inducements to to get a buy position in, like at the tops of the freaking either candlestick or the tops of like the range. And like just based on my math of that, you know, I was like if I was only going for the breakout every single time, I was only accurate like 30% of the time. And so like I was getting win rates of like 30-40%. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, if my win rate is 30 or 40% when I keep trying to get these breakouts on the tops of the fucking candlestick, I'll just do the opposite. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do that. You can do the exact opposite. It doesn't matter to me. Let me see if anybody's in the chat. I want to be really mindful of what's going on with you guys in the chat. You know, just not to feel like I'm neglectful or whatever. And so I didn't even have time to let's mark up these charts on some level. And so we broke yesterday's low, so we got a new low, which is here. We got a new high from yesterday that was there. I'm gonna make those a hair bigger so we can easily see this. And so then we'll go on the 4 hour, kind of see how that looks. Starting to make a little bit more sense. 9 o'clock this morning is when this candlestick started, and it didn't overtake that previous high, and it looks like it's starting to peter out. I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that. Bring that down to the 15-minute to kind of get a bird's eye view here of where we're at in the range. And so we got the top of the range over here. This will give us a good idea of so do the 50%. We'll mark that. To kind of separate just visually. Just visually where we're at, so it's like, if it's below that 50%, maybe think more in terms of buys. Above that, in terms of maybe sell. And this is on the 15 minutes, so a lot of those points from how much. Let's measure that from here to there. That's 100 points on a contract. That's $500. So that might be a good take profit zone for us with a 100K account. That's a 0.5% winner, chicken dinner. Trading has really kind of skewed my perceptions of money. It's like $500. I just look at this like a game, like just playing a game, playing these points. I look at this as like a fun thing to do. Part of operating from like an abundance mentality is like not being super triggered by money in general, because what's triggering is like the ideas of scarcity, like it's never going to come back, or that it's hard to make, or fill in the blank with these excuses that people can get. I think mindset is a huge deal in everything. It's like if you're new to this stream, it's like I might not have like the greatest experience in the world of like trading history yet, but everything's a progression. What I do have is like a bunch of entrepreneurial experience, which is very transferable. I have a handyman business that I'm actively doing. That I think is like 7 or 8 years old now. I've had people working for me. My wife works for me. My family works for me. I've had employees. It's quite the experience. The thing about making large. What just happened? Technical difficulty. This is why you put stop loss in. Stupid shit like this. I wish I would take profit too. But we can still, I think, access it from here. And so you can actually see the real time kind of what's going on here. I think I can close the trade from this too. So like part of like the strategy I'm doing, which you guys can do the complete opposite of, and like I can be your adversary and try to take my money and develop a plan around like screwing me over, which is fine. About 30% of people are probably like that. But like the idea is to buy up here and sell down here at the bottom. And that translates to up here and down here on the 1 minute. I like looking at the 1 minute for just all the nuance. One of the things I'm working on actively is not acting like a fish that sees a shiny lure when the price just like blasts up or blasts down, and just trying to really be the fisherman, not the fish. And what that kind of means is like the fisherman waits for price to get to a good area before purchasing, like something that makes logical sense for a risk to reward structure. Speaking of that, I think I'm going to take some of this risk off the table here just by bringing a stop loss a little bit closer. I don't think it's going to go up there, but in case something weird. I checked the news this morning. Sometimes you get a news event that just is like a landmine if you're not watching that. Normally news is about 8:30 and 10. But not all the time. Anything could happen, literally. Some foreign leader could decide to have a meltdown, and next thing you know, the market just gets shaken up a little bit. My mom was showing me earlier Joe Biden's financial advisor, and for whatever reason he didn't seem to know why, if the government can print money, he didn't understand why it needed to be debt. Which is funny. I think it was a recent interview. It was on Fox News, which, if that matters to you. I don't really watch the news. I haven't for years, but she just happened to show me that interview, and I thought it was kind of funny. I think I might get stopped out. I'm just going to get that just a hair above there. I think that's worth the risk. I hate it when it just taps the stop loss and then goes to the take profit. It's one of those things where it's just like, if I'm going to be wrong, I want to be decisively wrong versus like on a technicality wrong. The reason I moved that is just because of, even now, I just, that candle, so like to me, this is showing like a resistance zone right here. And if it breaches this, then who knows what'll happen. It could go straight up for hundreds of points, but for the purposes of this trade on this Apex account, I'm only going to trade this one trade, and if I'm wrong, I'm down 0.5%, and I just go to the next account and not try to revenge trade or whatever and make the money back. I just feel like NASDAQ at the moment has more of a bearish bias than a bullish one. Mainly because of it being at record high levels and then consolidating for as long as it did, and then having a couple big days of bear movement. I don't have the confidence in it to just constantly just be bullish. Not to say that I'm right, you know, but that's just the kind of the assumption I'm operating under as I'm trading. And there's been a handful of times now where it's like peaked these kind of highs and then just flushed really hard to the downside. And so that's what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen. Kind of tempted to put another contract on and capture that $500 move on the way down to just hit this level. But it's pretty it's pretty bullish right now, so I don't know. Probably a bad idea. Now, even if I get stopped out of this account, I'm going to be bearish on the other account and do another sell. Okay, so let me switch accounts here. I'm gonna wait till that gets to another screaming level here. So 99460. I'm gonna wait for the top of a candle. I want that to be straight up, basically. Kind of like what it's doing. We're gonna wait till it gets to the top of that. I might just put a buy in and ride this thing up to here. We'll wait till it gets up to here and then short it. But until it gets up to there, I mean, that's a pretty big, that's 100-something points, so no reason just to sit and watch it go up there. Ooh, I didn't even see that candlestick though. We'll have to get another buy if that gets down to here. Or maybe there. I'm not gonna get the first one. We'll wait for the second one, see what it does. If I can get it as it drops, then that'll be a winner. If it starts racing up, I'm just gonna consider that a loser and wait to short it. Trying to get better at being the fisherman here. Pretty much right where we wanted it. If it continues down, then I'm still feeling like that will be a winner, a winning trade, just because I did what I intended to do, which was not chase but wait for it to come back down. So those kinds of little wins I feel like are important to really develop. What do I call it? 3 black crows. Let's see if that goes back up. We'll look for a short. That was impulsive. The reason I did that though is just because FOMO. That was a FOMO reaction, but it has to also do with the amount of selling pressure on this. Plus, this thing closes 1, 2, 3 red candles. A lot of people look at that as a really significant omen. Basically that is going to turn around. 3. What is it? Most people call it? 3 crows, 3 black crows. Probably when the candlesticks used to be white and black. I'm gonna get out of this, but I'm gonna look for a shorting opportunity. This is one of the things I am guilty of doing, is going back and forth too much, but I'm working on it. So part of it is becoming aware of the problem. But I'm gonna wait till it gets at least up to here, and then I'm gonna short it. I don't know. I want to short it right now. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be a little bit more disciplined because, like I said, it could go up to here. Although that candle there on the 15-minute looks like is that a double top, or is that barely? I don't know. Yeah, the hard part about trading is just the emotions, really. I mean, it's not hard to push a button, and it's not really hard to grasp the I shouldn't be using more than, one contract, and I shouldn't, just like the things that we all know. But it's just like everybody knows that if you eat way too much, you're gonna get obese. Yet we do it anyway. People are just like that. And it takes a lot of discipline and repetition to actually change anything. It's like, oh, I know better than to chase these prices. I know better than to whatever's, and then do it anyway. It's just like, okay. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles right there, and that wasn't the 3 black crows or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good with people's namings and how that people name things. I can kind of just make my own names up for things. It's like, oh, let's look at astrology. That's the Big Dipper, and that's this, and it's like, oh no, I call that the the Little Bear. Looks like a lot of sellers hitting this price down here in this last 15 minutes. Yeah, look at that scandal. Real big wick. Looks like it's about to be even bigger wick. Got 2 minutes before this guy closes. If this thing closes red, it's going to be a big fuck you to the bulls that are in the room. I don't know how much money it takes to, if I were to just put an order in, to have it move for like 100 ticks. I think that's millions of dollars. I'm sure somebody that's seasoned in trading could enlighten me on that. I'd be curious to know. I'm just going to take a little profit right there. With it being 1 minute left of this candlestick, I don't really trust that it doesn't bounce back to up here. I mean, it could, this beneath that kind of little micro support zone, but it's almost 11, so I mean it might be about that time for a big flush, but I feel like if that happens, it'll be after this candlestick closes. So right about there is the level for it to close red. Got 43 seconds. This is exciting. Let's see what it does. Because that makes a big difference if it closes red versus closes green. At 29 seconds. Either way, that wick is really impressive as a show of force type thing. And the fact that the sellers are holding this kind of where it's out. And it could just be the traders too, or just waiting for the 11 o'clock. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna just put a sell in case it tanks at the new candlestick. That's kind of gamble because it could go the other way too. Yeah, too much. Well, that's like the worst way to try to close these, obviously. In the seconds it takes to close it. How did that close, by the way? Oh, that closed red. I'm just going to hold this. I kind of want to get on the other account, too. Yeah, that closed red like that. What the heck? YMN? That's not even the right freaking... What's happening here? Okay, that's not even the right freaking futures. And which freaking account? Ugh, I'm on the wrong account. This is technical difficulty. Okay, so let's think here. So ugh. There we go. And that's not really what we want to do either. I'm not really thrilled with these errors, but that's okay. We're going super heavy for one, but at least now we're got both accounts on freaking NASDAQ instead of whatever that other one was. I made a couple of them bonehead errors. Did that same thing. I was I don't like trading the Top Step account I'm working on, like day trading like I'm doing now with like scalping for the most part, mainly because you know, it's easy to blow through the account. But like in the Top Step account's like $100, whereas these are like $40. And so the Apex accounts, and so yeah, I try to do more of like a swing trade with Top Step versus the scalps. But like I was on my Top Step account. I was swing trading at a really during the power hour and didn't realize it. Ended up losing a lot of progress that I've been making on that account. About got it back to break even on the account, back to 10K or 100K. And so kind of the middle of the road here is this 18172. That's the halfway point between this kind of range. Since this thing looks like it got shut down here, the thing I gotta keep in mind is Apex does trailing drawdowns. So if you don't take profit when you have like two contracts and it's kind of getting maybe big in the P&L, if that thing turns around on you, that just moved the trail. So it's like you have about $3,000 of drawdown that you can do with Apex, but the problem is if you have like a huge winner but then don't take profit, and it's like swings. If you have like a lot of contracts and it's like $3,000 up this way, but then it drops down like 1,000, well, your trailing threshold still went up to that 3,000, and so you got to be really mindful about your position size and taking profit when it's large. I just took profit on all that. I'm looking for another selling opportunity once this gets up here. Let's see how that affected everything. Looks like did pretty good for both these accounts. That was a good trade. The way this is setting up, it looks like it's setting up for a big sell, but doing one contract, there's not a lot of wiggle room for these retracements. I'm just gonna do one account. I think it's pretty likely it'll test this low before really going back up. This is just like a nice take profit spot. But like obviously I want to capture this whole move. And I hear the other traders, well, who the hell does it, Mike? It's a 500 point move. That's $2,500 buckaroonies. Somebody's got to capture it. Why can't it be me? I would like to see where that lands. While this is doing what price is doing, let me jump in the chat, see if anybody's in here. Appreciate anybody that does happen to come in. Make sure the microphone, make sure. I've had it like before where I'm not paying attention to these levels, and next thing you know, I do like an hour-long stream that like could get the most amount of profit I've ever gotten or whatever, and then oh, I didn't have the microphone on the whole time. And I'm not sure what account is even in on this trade, to be honest. Looks like the one that is the least profitable account, which is good. We'll see if we can maybe bump that up. But I won't do two accounts. That was one thing that didn't make sense to me too about some of the traders I like watch on YouTube and stuff. With Apex, there's a lot of guys right now in the trading world getting like 50K accounts and just doing copy trading on 20 accounts. So basically, you know, instead of doing I'm gonna close out because we're at this zone here, and it could blast through it, but we'll just kind of wait. But you know what these guys are doing is getting like 20 accounts that are 50K, maybe doing like one contract, but like on 20 accounts, that's really like 20 contracts. So I was just like, well, why aren't you just getting 250K accounts and just doing a bigger position size? I don't know. You know, everybody's different, I guess. And so, but that's what has been confusing to me about it, you know, where it's just like, what? Why do you want to do 20 accounts when you can just do like a couple large ones, unless there's something going on with the way the payouts like is. You know, I could see that where it's easier to maybe manage your payouts, having multiple 50s. You can like withdraw from one and not have it all tied up. Maybe that's the logic. I don't know what the logic is, you know, to be honest. Like right now, I want to get in another selling position, but see how it's at the bottom of the candlestick? We want to wait till it gets to the top of the candlestick, at least, you know, because it could go up to here and then crash down, because we're at this this support zone, and you can see the support zone because, well, maybe you can't see it. You know, this is what I see. Price hits this zone and bounces. Price hits this zone and bounces. Price hits this zone. This, where it's at now, is slightly above even where it was before. And so, to be cautious, you know, kind of waiting until we get a better candle, even though we might miss out on this move. 11:11. I think that's going to be a big part of like discipline that trying to develop more and more so each day. Is, the classic mistake I keep making is I put a sell in here thinking the bottom's going to fall out. Then price runs up $300 or $200, get stopped out of the trade, and then it drops. All because it's just not waiting for a good opportunity and letting fear of missing out make reactivity. Not to say, you know, if it goes up here and you try to click it real fast and it shoots down, it's more about disciplining yourself to follow your own advice. And that's my opinion, at least. But when you do that, you see how just instantly now virtually no drawdown, not sitting in an uncomfortable spot. Not to say not going to lose the trade, but we followed our own kind of rules. Now we're sitting in a good position for it to, if it does break down, awesome position. If it does start to retrace a little bit and get into a little drawdown, it's not a threatening drawdown. And plus, when we look at the 15-minute chart here, it looks good for a potential drop, because we're running out of like stop losses that would be sitting right here. You know, if you think of price as devouring orders, where are the orders? Okay, well, where's price likely to go? Where the stop losses are, or the orders are at. So a lot of people here on longs have their stop loss somewhere down here. And if there's more sellers, it's looking for orders. So where are the orders likely to to affect the price, well, more than likely, all these stop losses that are sitting here trying to go long is a little bit more likely than price turning around and going to all the stop losses that are up here going short. That makes sense? Yeah, and then once it runs out of that little batch of orders that is sitting here, the next likely spot for it to go to would be down here. It would be a nice spot to put a stop loss for a long position. And so it makes sense that price might go down to here to target those orders. But, you know, maybe there'd be some people that try to get slick, put some stop losses here in this orders or here, you know, where they drop it down more. But a lot of times you see those big moves. A lot of times it's because it's blasting through an area where there's not a bunch of orders. You know, and price just likes to devour orders. You know, think of it like an entity. Up to 250. Down here, 18,172 is that halfway point. And so, again, you have a lot of people probably have their stop loss right here. And it's more likely that price is heading to those stop losses than these stop losses. I'm going to close that. Take that $300. See if price heads up a little bit. Just because it seemed like they was getting a little bit of resistance. You know, in bull markets, a lot of people look for these big streaks of red, and depending on your time scale and your position size, you know, if you have like a wiggle room like that much, and it is only gonna, like, on a, take this account size and say your risk is $250 regardless. Okay, so you could do 2 contracts and have a 25 pip stop. You could have 1 contract and have a 50 pip stop. You know, and so there's all different ways you can make you could lose $250 or make $750. You know, so say if you're doing it by your take profit, I mean, same kind of thing. Oops, I kind of missed that selling opportunity. We'll wait till it is a little bit more convincing. This move right here, from here to there, that's 100 points. From there to there, it's only 30. So to be worth it, probably be about there, because that will be the risk or reward to be there. You know, still thinking, you know, hitting sells, but, you know, a lot of guys could be looking at this chart and seeing, oh, well, we're at this zone that price tapped, and now we're moving up. You know, so maybe that it'll do that, but I'm looking to sell it. That was kind of a good spot, but even more gravy would be, okay, so right up in there. We'll just take what we can get. I don't think we're gonna get much more now. Micah, you just said. It's like, okay, things evolve fast. We'll do a break even. You know, if it does blast through that, then it'll be just break even. Get another sell up in here, but for the sake of, like, well, anything could happen and it could just tank, maybe this is a good spot. But you can see it tap right there, right in that 50% retracement. I'm actually gonna, yeah, not fast enough. And so since this is like smack dab pretty much in the middle of the range, 50-50, it could go up, 50-50, it could go down. Let's see how we're doing profit wise. Up pretty nice, 725. I don't remember. I need to work on my memory. I need to freaking take some fish oil or some shit. Again, instead of like, oh, I see red, reactive, boom, it's going down now. That's what I'm personally working on not doing. You guys can do whatever you want. You know, I don't care. I'm not trying to tell you how to do anything really. You know, trading is risky. If you're not managing your risk and if you're becoming unconscious, you're gonna fucking lose money big time. So like this, you know, yeah, it's starting. Yeah, it would burn if we lose a big candle. But long-term discipline, it's better to just let the price come to you like a fisherman versus reacting like a fish. I like that spot because, you know, it's got the long wick. We broke that structure. Very weak on moving up. It's 1120. We're right here. Potential once we cross that 50% fib is a pretty far way down to this next area where there's going to be another 100 points or so, where there's a big probably collection of stop losses. Again, the stop losses where we're at would probably be in this zone. Makes it almost easier to visualize the market when you think of it in terms of prices devouring stop loss orders. And this is a pretty easy trading day too. I mean, it's, for me at least, this is kind of and that might be famous last words, and then all of a sudden spiral in a huge fucking loss, but get out of this and reposition if it gets up here. I'm almost about done for the day. It's almost 11:30. You know, a lot of times there's that big move right before lunch, which I don't know if that necessarily, this previous one is really that. It's not making a new lower low. You know, so in like a bull market, you put a buy order in, you got everybody putting their stop loss down here. Now if there's more orders coming in, you would think, you know, it'd be targeting probably this as the next area that has a bunch of stop losses. The way that it's going, being right here in the middle of this bigger range on the bigger time scale, I don't know, it's suspicious. You got the highs up here to the left, you got a higher high that broke that range. 50% retracement. You know, this thing could blast off. I'm actually gonna put a buy in. I've about convinced myself just to do that. I think it's more likely we'll hit those stop losses up here versus these stop losses down here in the short term. Just because we got those wicks are slightly going up and up and up. So you have a low, and it's just gradually starting to creep up. You know, from here to up there, that's another about 100 points. Yeah, so it's like, try to think, okay, what is everybody doing? Everybody's probably thinking this thing is going to keep falling. So what does our game plan say? Buy at the bottoms of the range. You know, if this is the bottom right here, over in here, we ain't going down, we ain't going down, we ain't going down. It's kind of likely that this is the new bottom, and instead of hitting a sell thinking it's going to fall and fall and fall, that's kind of my thinking. I don't know, you know, you guys can think whatever you want. It just seems like at the moment the bulls are starting to get a little bit more powerful. You know, the bears aren't pushing price down like they were. It's 11:30. I think a lot of people are starting to check out. I think I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be done for today. I think I was in profit. I'm trying not to be overly obsessed with the P&L. Looks like I got some profit. I'll have to do the math. I should write this shit down before I start. I try not to be overly fixated on the P&L because it starts making mental resistance in me, and I start be thinking about that too much. It's like a wedge. I think it's gonna probably. We'll watch it. I think up here. That's my prediction. It'll be up in here for these stop losses. I should have just stayed in it, but I'm not gonna chase this shit. It's fine. Is it fine, Mike? Is it fine, or are we just gonna bite on that little micro pullback and let this thing take off before people realize it's turned around? Last trade to everybody. This is kind of the degenerate in me that I kind of work on to, the addict. Just one more. I'll be done when one more. Just one more. Get ready to close this as soon as it just gets that big pop. Nah, good enough. Yeah, it is what it is at this point. That's an extra $30. So on the Apex, I think I got to hit 6K for profit to pass these evals. I'm pretty sure it's 6. I don't think it's 5. But with that being said, you know, let me jump into the chat. Let me not disrespect people that might be in here waiting for me to be mindful of what their opinions are. Nobody's in here at the moment, but that's okay. The channel's new. I appreciate people that just see this whenever they see it. I put these out, for friends and family to watch, just not to be like, this is how you do it, but just watching and learning as we do it together. I think it's helpful for kind of getting a little bit more harmony in trading, trying to get a little bit more, what am I trying to say? Just try to get in more flow states in trading where it doesn't feel like it's such a battle, but more trending. When price is consolidating and everything, it's just like, I feel like everybody's just losing money and just having a bad time, and I just couldn't resist this trade. You got that high not being breached. Just one more. Yeah, that's the hard part for me for trading, is I gotta let some of that grit go. $30. Okay, we'll just stop what we're doing. Stop over trading. Take those little micro wins. That's one of the reasons I like having a Darwin X account, actually, because it gives me an energy to focus. Some of these what I'm trying to say, it gives me an outlet to focus some of this, like, practice energy. Maybe that's the best way to think of it. It's like, well, wanting to do the reps, wanting to do the chart time, wanting to do the actual trades. Because I enjoy trading. I think it's fun and exciting, and I don't think there's really anything like it. There really nothing like compares to the energy of trading, and just like the highs and the lows and the fucking thrills of it. It's got its own set of things, but like it's like the siren song. It just draws you into it. But like yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. It's time for me to go. But I appreciate everybody being here. Hopefully you had a profitable day. And until next time, God bless.